to global prosperity and stability, thus our competitiveness, and the rise of protectionism. And as our domestic agenda cannot be seen separately from global developments around us, let me start with the US tariffs. When the dream of a united Europe began, it started with a very simple idea. Let's create one single market. Let's break barriers, take tariffs down. That is what made us strong. Because our companies grew, and so did the ties that bind us together. And then in the same spirit, we worked with partners across the world, including the United States. We built strong connections that we believed were unbreakable. And trade brought more than prosperity. It brought the idea of a shared way of life. And with commerce, our partnership has also grown. Countless are the friendships across the Atlantic. And because of this collective experience of the last, almost 75 years, so many Europeans feel utterly disheartened by the announcement from the United States. Let me be clear, Europe did not start this confrontation. We think it is wrong. But my message to you today is that we have everything we need to protect our people and our prosperity. We have the largest single market in the world. We have the strength to negotiate. We have the power to push back. And the people of Europe should know that together we will always promote and defend our interests and our values, and together we will always stand up for our Europe. So far, the US administration has announced a 25% increase of tariffs on imports of steel and aluminium, cars and car parts. The next sectors facing tariffs will be semiconductors, pharmaceuticals and timber. And tomorrow we expect another announcement with so-called reciprocal tariffs that will immediately apply to almost all goods and many countries in the world. Of course, there are severe issues in the world of trade, without any question. Overcapacities, we know about the imbalances. We see unfair subsidies, denial of market access, or the IP theft. And I hear Americans when they say some others have taken advantage of the rules. I agree. We also suffer from it. So let's work on it. But tariffs across the board make things worse, not better. Tariffs are taxes that will be paid by the people. Tariffs are taxes for the Americans on their groceries and their medication. Tariffs will just fuel inflation, exactly the opposite of what we wanted to achieve. American factories will pay more for components that are produced in Europe. This will cost jobs. It will create a bureaucratic monster of new customs procedures. And today, nobody needs that, neither in the United States nor in Europe. So, our strategy builds on 3 pillars. First, we are open to negotiations. We will approach these negotiations from a position of strength. Europe holds a lot of cards, from trade to technology to the size of our market. But this strength is also built on our readiness to take firm countermeasures if necessary. All instruments are on the table. Second, we will keep diversifying our trade with other partners. You mentioned it, Antonio. Our hallmark is not only that we are the biggest market in the world, but that we are reliable and predictable. We honor our commitments. And that is exactly what our partners are looking for today. And my third point, we will double down on our single market. The single market is the cornerstone of European integration and values. It's our powerful catalyst for growth, for prosperity, for solidarity. But we have to tear down remaining barriers to have a single market to go big because scale matters, and a single market to go fast and to go far. Now, all right, first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the whole for life, preaching his word in truth, sincerity. To you rich, you just out there learning silence, staying in order. I say to you all, shalom. Alright, so man, it's getting spicy. You know, we got the EU, amongst other nations, getting tariffs from Trumpito. He's you know, forcing all these people to basically turn their backs. It's all of the Lord, man, because this is prophecy, as we're gonna get into. You know, the Lord put the spirit on Trump to put these tariffs on all these nations, right? Because he's greedy, he's proud, right? He acts like he don't need nobody, and you know, he thinks that his house could continue forever, right? So everybody's slowly turning their back and picking up arms, right? We got Rome, you know, getting more military power, right? There's a lot going on right now, man, and the whole world's asleep. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right? And small meaning insignificant. Right? It says, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high. Right? Because these people, every time, you know, if you look at the cities, they are, you know, big, basically towers of rock. Right? And Trump Towers, right, he named it after himself. It's supposed to be, you know, one of the tallest here in Babylon. See, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, right? Because they always, you know, they want to be, as they say, high and mighty, right? They want to sit up high. They want to be as high as the eagle, right? Which symbolizes that's their symbol, man, of colonialism, of imperialism. So whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? This is pride. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said Yahweh Shai. Right? And then we go to verse 7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy, right? Because the EU is confederate with Babylon. It says, have brought thee even to the border, right? They're gonna start, you know, pushing back, right? First with fines, financial, you know, and then war. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. See, that's basically what's going on here, right? The pride of you know, Nero, Trump, is gonna be brought down, man. The king of Babylon. Verse 11, Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. In the noise of thy vows, the worms is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee, right? He's going to be brought real low, down to the deepness of the earth, man. He's going to be base of the bases. Verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, the son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations, right? With these tariffs, he's definitely weakening the nations. You know, they're at a brink of, you know, pure pestilence. You know, it don't take much to starve a nation, man. And these people are gonna rebel. Right, that's what's coming.
Verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that that did shake kingdoms, that made the whole world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the houses of his prisoners, right? Babylon is known to have the most prisoners in the whole earth, man. They're actually sending outside people to other prisons. Like they've taken prisoners from other countries. It's crazy, right? But this is verse 20. But thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain the people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Right? There's gonna be a mass extermination of these people for the wickedness they portrayed on the earth, man. Right? That's what's coming. This prophecy. Right, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the GMS who I learned from, to the one, to the hopeful elect, preaching his word in truth, sincerity. To your ribs, to your sisters out there learning silence, and staying in order, I say to you all, Shalom.